All right, that looks good. All right, so good afternoon and everyone watching online as well. So this will be our live on record, but we'll make our way into Shavasana to start, getting nice and relaxed as always. So our Shavasana sandwich, starting and finishing in this position of deep rest. This moment at whatever time of day we're watching, but at the moment a Friday afternoon, allowing the body to settle and just noticing that immediate sense of when we do come to this stillness, all the scurrying about that we do. Allowing it to settle, the body coming to rest. We start to notice any muscles that we've been using, that we've been working. Maybe they're recovering from any other movement or exercise that we do, as well as whatever's been building up, maybe posturally, maybe stress that we hold on to. Wherever it is through the body that we can just focus this ability to relax. Feel these muscles loosening as we get more comfortable in our own bodies. Likewise, any unnecessary thinking, the thoughts that come and go, anything that tends to take our attention, to take our awareness. Seeing if we can just allow these thoughts to come and go still, but without the necessity of getting caught up or following along. We can keep our attention here in what's happening in this practice. As we begin to deepen the breath, just that comfortable amount starting to really flow, these inhales and exhales. That expansion of breath. That flow of air in and out of the body, the exchange of energy. As we bring some movement to the fingers and the toes, waking up the extremities and perhaps a roll of the wrists and the ankles, and hugging those knees in towards the chest, squeezing in nice and tight. Taking that left and right or circles or whatever it is that we need to start this practice through the hips. As we open into a happy baby. That head resting heavily to the earth. Option to add our rock and roll. Releasing the left foot, taking that right foot across, threading our needle, taking hold with the hands around that left shin, knee or hamstring, finding that position for us. Without disturbing the flow of the breath, we can draw that left leg in towards the body a little closer. Releasing our hold, we're going to take that right leg further over the left. So taking a wrap here, maybe that right foot comes back around the calf, or just resting it as we take a roll of those hips to the left side, extending out through the arms, keeping the chest opening towards the ceiling. As we get this opening down that right side, the lower back, across the hips, keeping that breath deep and full. And back through center. Placing that right foot at the floor, taking our left foot across. Finding our hold of the hands. Resting the head, relaxing that upper body, drawing that right leg in a little closer, but again, keeping that full depth of breath. Opening through that left side glute. Just keeping the facial muscles relaxed, releasing any stress from the neck or the shoulders. And gently letting go, taking that left leg further across, finding our own version of our wrap here, extending the arms out, rolling through the hips. Breathe to belly, rise to chest. And making our way back to middle. Hugging those knees in, squeezing into our ball from here, that rock and roll, coming up to seated. So getting into the hips and the back this afternoon. So take a breath in, let's lengthen up nice and tall. We'll keep those hands rested to the knees. So we exhale, torso out to the right, down and around, taking our hip circles and using our breath, changing directions. Gently opening up through the hips, through the lower back. Taking one more round. Using that inhale to come all the way tall. Walking the hands forwards into our fold, relaxing through that lower back. Chin towards the chest, so we're lengthening the lower back, but also that upper back, all the way along the back of the neck. Resting the head down. And walking those hands back in nice and tall. So sitting up, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the head, opening through the chest, taking a breath in to open a little further, gazing up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, chin towards the chest, elbows drawing back towards each other as we round the spine, getting that lengthening through the back of the body. Inhale, opening all the way up. Exhale, curling under. Inhale, nice big opening. Exhale, round. And on our inhale, coming all the way nice and tall. Releasing the hands, we keep our lift, that nice tall posture. As we inhale, take the arms up. As we exhale, that right hand to mat, lengthening down that left side of the body as we extend through that arm, and then inhale, rising up nice and tall. Exhale, opposite side. So opening down that side body through the lats, keep flowing with the breath. Tall lift on our inhale, outstretched on our exhale. Stacking the shoulders, chest is open. We'll go once more each side. And then sitting back up nice and tall. Walking our hands forwards, coming to all fours, our tabletop. Fingers spread, palms press firm down. Continuing into our cat-cow, this opening along the vertebra, along the spine. Inhale, chest through the arms. Exhale, drawing it back and lift. Tucking tailbone. Inhale to open. Exhale, round. One more time. And coming back to neutral, downward facing dog. Finding our length here through the arms, through the legs. We can bend those knees as much as we need to. We can pedal them out if we'd like to. And then beginning to walk those feet towards the front of our mats, finding our fold. Hands to opposite elbows, resting the head side to side, that gentle sway. And towards center, release those fingertips towards the floor. Let's inhale a half lift. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, lengthening, extending towards the front of our room. Exhale, folding forwards. And then pressing through the feet. We'll rise up on that inhale, extending the arms up, pointing through the fingertips, and then exhale, diving over. Let's inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Once again, inhale, rise. All the way up, opening through the chest, and then exhale, folding forward. As we inhale, that half lift. And on the exhale, we'll bring the hands to mat, stepping that right foot forwards. We'll use an in-breath to extend the arms up once more, long through the sides of the body. Opening up through that right hip flexor. Getting ourselves nice and stable. On an inhale, reaching up that little bit further. As we exhale, taking our twist. So facing that left side, extend the arms forward and back. And then inhale up through middle. Exhale to our open side. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen up. So we're bringing this rotation along the spine. So we're getting that opening through the left hip flexor in this lunge position. We're also just getting that warming movement along the vertebra. These gentle twists. Moving in time with the breath. If we're a little bit wobbly, we can slow it down. We can pause at any point. A little bit of balance here as well. On our next exhale, we're going to hold this twist, lowering that right hand to the inside of the left foot, extending that right arm tall towards the ceiling, pointing up through those fingertips, nice and long through that back leg, unless we're using that back knee for support. Deep breaths. One more breath in. Exhale, lowering that left hand to the mat, stepping that left foot back to our plank. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, our first chaturanga. Inhale to our cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take that again. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Press to open, soften the shoulders, chest lifts. Exhale, downward dog. On our next inhale, gazing between the hands, soften those knees. We're stepping or hopping our feet to the front of our mats. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to mat, stepping the left foot back this time. Take our time, in-breath to rise up, long through the arms, through the side body, but relaxing down through the shoulders and the hips. Keeping that tailbone tucked, so the front tips of the hips lifting towards the ribs, so actively engaging through that core, getting that opening through that right hip flexor. Steady through our movement, take a breath in. Exhale, twist, right side facing, extend the arms. Inhale, tall. Exhale, open side. Take our time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Tall on our reach, on our in-breath. Long through our reach on our out-breath. One more time through. Inhale, lift. Exhale to our twist side. Take another breath in here. On the exhale, that left hand on the inside of the right foot. Keep that left arm long, pointing towards the ceiling with that gaze. Option to the side or towards that top thumb tip. Noticing the depth of the breath. Can we draw it deeper to the belly? In all these rotations, there's that tendency to shorten that breath, so lengthening it comfortably. Deep breath in. Exhale, top hand to mat. Take our time, stepping that right foot back to our plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. And then coming to our downward puppy with those knees to the floor. Hips over the knees, walking those hands forwards, melting that chest towards the earth. So option if we'd like to deepen this one a little, we can come up to the fingertips if it's comfortable for the shoulders. And walking those hands back in towards us, taking a kneeling position if it's comfortable to. If not, just come back to seated. But finding that length through the spine, lift through the chest. We'll bring that left hand over to the right side of the head, opening that neck stretch. And then turning side facing. As we draw that chin in, we're keeping that right shoulder blade relaxed down towards the earth. forward facing, changing sides. So just noticing if there's any more lift that we can bring up through that spine, through this posture, while keeping those shoulders fully relaxed. And taking our side facing, tucking that chin in. Releasing our grip, let's take those hands to mat. Coming to our downward facing dog. We'll find a flow with the breath using that inhale, chest and shoulders forwards to our plank. Exhale, deepening down. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward facing dog. With our following in breath, that left heel rising up nice and tall. Stepping outside the left hand. Placing for our lizard lunge. Knee to mat, so if we're keeping our hands or elbows to the floor, we can deepen down, keeping that length through spine. Or option for that hand to take hold of the right foot. Especially if we're tight through these hip flexors, just breathing into it. Relaxing that back leg, we'll take our hamstring fold, that left foot towards center. Drawing back the hips, keeping that chest open as we fold forwards, so we can have as much bend through that knee as we'd like. If we're feeling a little tingly, especially in this colder weather, well, maybe not in Japan, for those practicing from Australia. Depends where in the world you are, but even so, if we've got that tightness, that neural stretching behind the knee, we can take that gentle, what we call flossing, that gentle movement, pulsing forwards and backwards, if that feels good. Otherwise, we can just deepen into that stillness. From here, we're going to take a lunge position. We're going to come into a standing split. So framing the foot with the hands, tucking those back toes under, pressing up as we lift that right heel towards the ceiling, folding forwards from the hips. So we're engaging through the glutes, just finding our own lift, that own range of motion. Take one more deep breath in, and then we're going to come through to our tree pose, so bringing those hands to heart center as we get nice and tall through the body, bringing that foot, I'm going to face forwards, that right foot against the thigh, calf, or heel. As we steady ourselves, pointing that right knee out to the side, either hands to heart or finding our branching of the arms. Checking back in on the breath. Excellent. Let's bring those hands back to heart. Release that right foot to the floor, placing gently a little wriggle out, relaxing those muscles of the legs now. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, folding forwards. Half lift, lengthen. Stepping or hopping to our high plank. Continuing this flow, take our time, use the breath. From our down dog, inhale that right heel tall, stepping outside the right hand, finding our lizard lunge, our own option again. So hands or elbows, if we'd like to, taking hold of that left foot. Our practice is going to change from day to day. So always just working with wherever the body is at this very moment. And relaxing that left leg, bringing that right foot into middle, lengthening long. Find our own fold. So either deepening into that resting position or slightly more active, gentle pulse. Coming into our balance, our standing split, finding that lunge position first. Stable, so we tuck those back toes, framing the foot with the hands, pressing off, taking that fold, lifting up through that left heel this time, letting that head relax. Engaging through the glutes. Taking one more breath in. Exhale. Finding our tree, hands to heart center, using that in-breath to come all the way tall. Balancing on the right, tucking the left in. And settling into any wobbles. Option to expand out the arms. So we're resting that gaze on some still point out in front of us, what we call our drishti. Soft resting focus. And hands to heart center. Releasing that left foot to the earth. A little wriggle, loosening up those muscles, getting rid of any tension. As we inhale, extend tall. Exhale, folding. Half lift. High plank. Take our breath with that core switched on. We exhale to lower. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Bringing that left heel to rise, taking our pigeon this time, sweeping underneath and across the body as we find our lowering here. So deepening that right side. If we're getting that lift, it may mean that we need to bring that left heel back a little bit to keep those hips square. As we rest the head, if we'd like that shoulder stretch, so always that option if we'd like to thread that left arm underneath, taking an opening through the shoulder. Or we can keep that focus purely through the hips. And changing sides. However we'd like to. If we'd like a flow, take a flow. If we'd like to come back to our down dog, more direct path. Whichever we'd like. Take our time. Finding that opposite side to rest into once more. Option to thread the arm. Just checking in that body awareness of how that left side hip is. We can bring it parallel to the earth if it's lifting, deepening down. If it's quite comfortable there, we want to deepen the stretch, we can bring that right foot further forwards towards the elbow. And this time we'll walk the hands in so we can bring the legs to the front of our mat, coming to seated. Soles of feet to the earth. Extending those arms forwards, finding our boat pose. Lifting through the chest, option to lift the feet off the floor. Deepening that breath. Keeping that core switched on as we take a deep breath in. And then gently lowering ourselves down. Bringing that length back through the body. Resting all the way to floor. Hugging that left knee towards the chest. Taking our twist here. Bringing that left leg across the body. Option, we can keep a bend through the knee. If we'd like to get a little further through the hamstrings, we might like to take that foot with the right hand and extending out through the leg. Keeping nice and long through that left arm. And breathing deep into our twist. And coming back through center. Swapping sides, relaxing that left leg long, tucking that right knee in. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist. Finding our option again here. If we'd like to extend out, it might be taking hold of the foot. It may just be that we rest the hand to the leg if we'd still want that lengthening, but we can't quite reach. Or again, that option to simply bend through the knee. Allowing for that top leg to relax a little further. And back to finding center. Drawing those heels in towards the hips, opening into our butterfly, relaxing the arms, however's most comfortable for us. So just melt into this breath. Coming to our Shavasana. Drawing the legs in together first, extending them out long. Any final little movements here, adjustments to get ourselves as comfortable as we can for this final deep restorative rest. Gently bringing our focus back into the breath. As we add a wriggle to the fingers and the toes. Inhaling, arms extending overhead. And exhale, rolling to our side. As we bring ourselves up to seated. Finding that length up through the spine, a softening of the shoulders. Keeping this attention in the body. As we just notice how we feel after our practice compared to when we first came to our mats. I'm grateful that we've put aside this time to take this self-care. As we bow our heads to our hands, we honour ourselves and each other with Namaste. Thank you so much.